Hi, class of 2021. This presentation that Mrs. Kelly and I are giving is just to provide you with some information about what to expect over the next couple of months, and even more specifically regarding your graduation on June 10th. We're going to share a ton of important information with you that I hope both you and your families tune into, and please let us know if you have any questions. So obviously, graduation this year is on June 10th, 2021. The ceremony will begin promptly at 6 p.m., and we're asking all seniors to report to the front lawn of the high school at 5:20 that evening. So what do you need to know? Well, ladies, you need to know that what is acceptable wear for the graduation is either a dress, a skirt, or a nice pair of pants. Dress shoes or sandals with the lowest possible heels are what you really want to be focusing on, because the ramps that you're going to walk up and walk down on the stage, quite frankly, are very steep. And there's no handrails besides a few pieces of rope to hold on to. So please be thoughtful when selecting the shoes that you're going to wear for graduation. You are not allowed to wear sneakers, and we discourage flip-flops, although if you have a dressy pair, it is something that would be permitted. Gentlemen, we do expect that you're dressed with a collar and a tie, and that you're wearing dress pants, no jeans and no shorts. Shoes are of course expected, no sneakers and no sandals. And please don't forget to wear the tie. So what do you need to know about that night? When you show up to the front lawn of the high school at 5:20 on June 10th, you should be dressed in your cap and gown, with your cap on and your gown fully zippered. Nothing should be attached to the cap or gown. You will be checked for appropriate dress, and so please make sure that you are following or adhering to the expectations. Nothing on the cap, nothing attached to the gown, and please know that any misbehavior is unfortunately going to result in your removal from the ceremony that evening. Difference makers, you should be completing these in your English classes, so I ask that if you have any questions, you reach out to an English teacher. Please know that we will post or link the teachers' names on the district website to give special recognition to those teachers of yours over the last 12 years. Something new that we're doing this year is we hope that you'll donate your graduation gown if you have no younger siblings or any intention of ever using it again. And if you are willing to leave your gown, and it is completely optional, if you're willing to leave it behind for a future student who may need it, we ask that you drop it in the box near your diploma pickup that evening immediately following graduation. What do you need to know about tickets? So this year, given the circumstances, things are a little different. You're going to be given 2 tickets for guests to attend the graduation ceremony in person, but the ceremony will be live streamed this year as well. So if you have family in Texas or somebody who lives down the street, but you only have those 2 tickets, we will be posting all of that information, and the ceremony will be live streamed. So anybody who's not in attendance can still watch the ceremony live over the TV. If by chance it rains on June 10th, our rain date is Friday, June 11th. And if you are in need of handicapped seating, we do have a few tickets available, and I just ask that you reach out to Miss Duffy if you need tickets. Tickets are going to be given out with your cap and gown at our practice on Tuesday. They'll be in the bag with the cap and gown when you receive them. Please know that we don't have extra tickets to provide. Every graduate will get 2 tickets, so please be very careful about those tickets when you receive them at that Tuesday's practice. And we ask that you not lose those tickets, or for that matter, any of the items that may be tucked in your cap and gown bag that day. Every year, we ask that you sign a commencement contract, and it is expected that you sign it in order to participate in the ceremony. Mrs. Kelly and I do not expect right now that you're going to write this link down that's on the screen. Instead, we will post the link to Schoology following this, this presentation. But please let me know if you have any questions about it. And I just want to run through with you for the next couple of minutes exactly what that commencement contract stipulates. So this is a screenshot of what you'll see when you log on to that link. And essentially what we are asking you is just to agree to most of the things that we've already presented. So the appropriate attire for ladies and gentlemen, that you understand that nothing should be attached to the gown and that nothing should be posted or attached to your cap, that you will be checked for appropriate dress, that we expect you to be on the front field of the high school at 5:20 that evening. When you line up on the front field, or when I see you on the field for practice, you are arranged in a specific order. It's going to conform to a graduation lineup. It's going to conform to the names as they are read by your president and vice president. So you cannot make changes to that order. You are also agreeing by signing the commencement contract that any student who exhibits evidence of the use or possession of an unauthorized substance will immediately be removed from the ceremony, and that any inappropriate behavior will also result in dismissal from the ceremony. If that is the case, the student and parents will have to make an appointment with the high school administrative team to receive the diploma after graduation. The last thing before you sign it is a paragraph here. It says the commencement ceremony for the Wissahickon High School class of 2021 is a serious and significant time in the life of each graduate. By signing, you understand that participation in the commencement ceremony is a privilege and not a right. You agree to take no action that would cause embarrassment to me, your parents, your friends, or your school. You understand the guidelines described above, and you agree to conduct yourself in a manner befitting the dignity of the occasion. And the one thing I want to say to all of you is, ladies and gentlemen, this graduation is about you. It's what you've accomplished over the last 12 years, right? Like everything that you've done, you should be so proud of the opportunity to participate in Wissahickon High School's graduation. But just as it's about you, it's also about your family. Your parents have this opportunity to see their child walk across the field and get a diploma. It's also about representing Wissahickon High School in a manner that is befitting of the event. So we ask that you please, please, please remember that as you prepare for graduation on June 10th. So again, I'll post the link to Schoology so that you can all go in and just electronically sign that you're in agreement with this commencement contract, but you will need to agree to the contract in order to participate in the ceremony. And if you have any questions, you know you can reach out to me. One of the things that we offer at graduation is graduation flowers. So we contract with a company called the Commencement Group. And this year they are providing flower bouquets, teddy bears, and necklaces available for purchase on site the day of graduation or in advance. So you can pre-order items on their website up until the day before graduation at 8 p.m. or you can come the day of graduation. Your family can come the day of graduation anytime after 3 o'clock that afternoon. And the group will be there selling items in person. They really do have good prices, and the best thing about this program is that some of the proceeds come back to Wissahickon High School, so we can use them for other events for future seniors. So I encourage you to check it out. So let's talk a little bit about graduation practice. The next time that you are going to see myself and Mrs. Kelly is on Monday, June 7th during the AM office hours session. This is going to be a live presentation, and it's mandatory that every senior participate in this session in order to participate in graduation on June 10th. So we'll review, again, a lot of the same information. We'll review protocols and requirements for graduation, and then we'll give you an opportunity to ask us any questions specifically about graduation. Mrs. Kelly and I will send the Teams link for this meeting in the future as we get closer to June 7th, but please mark your calendars, AM office hours on June 7th. On Tuesday, June 8th at 9:30, we're going to meet you in the stadium. So from 9:30 to 10:30 that morning, we're going to do a laptop and textbook collection, and we've got some breakfast treats that we're going to give to the senior class. So that happens 9:30 on June 8th. We want you all in the stadium to return all your laptops, return all your textbooks, have a quick breakfast treat. At 10:30, you will find your assigned seat on the field. We'll have charts available. We'll have a ton of people out there to help, and the seats will be labeled with your names. But by 10:30, you're going to find your assigned seat on the field. And then from 10:30 to 12 o'clock, we're going to conduct the graduation practice. This is the practice where you'll get your cap and gown, you'll get tickets, and where your senior class president and your senior class vice president will read the names of every one of you to make sure that the pronunciation is correct. I will also share some final last minute graduation reminders about what to expect on June 10th. At 12, following the graduation practice, we will then process down Houston and Dager as you guys walk back to the student parking lot. We ask that you have your caps on, and aligning Houston and Dager roads will be Wissahickon Middle School students and teachers cheering you on and congratulating you on the accomplishment. After that, and once we get back to the student parking lot, those of you who are participating in the Victory Lap mini car parade will stick around, because that parade will immediately follow this graduation practice, and we'll send you off to your staging areas to do that at each of the elementary schools. On Wednesday, June 9th, you have the senior picnic at 11 a.m. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the second graduation practice on June 9th. So we're going to ask that at 10 a.m., by 10 a.m., no later than 10 a.m. on Wednesday, June 9th, you report to the front field of the high school. There you will line up in order, and we will process in order as you are seated on the field to the stadium. You'll find your seat, and once again, some final graduation reminders about what to expect the next day will be provided at that practice. At 11, you've got the senior picnic. And then the only other reminder about specific to Wednesday, June 9th, is that all outstanding obligations must be cleared by 3 p.m. that afternoon, or I cannot get a diploma to you the next day at graduation. So you could still participate in the ceremony, but if those obligations are not cleared, you will not be able to get the diploma that evening. You'll have to schedule an opportunity later in the week or the following week to pick up your diploma once those obligations are cleared. So a big change in some of the other information that you've received up to this point is that we are going to do the practice on Wednesday, June 9th in lieu of the practice on Thursday, June 10th. So on June 10th, the only thing you need to know is that you are going to see us at 5:20 that night on the front field of Wissahickon High School. You'll be dressed in your caps and gowns, and remember, you will be checked for appropriate dress.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Haney. So now that we've talked about graduation, we know that you're well aware of all the other exciting events that are taking place for the class of 2021. So our seniors only day, which is on May 3rd, is the kickoff to Spirit Week. So on May 3rd, seniors will be the only students in the building, which is really exciting for all of you. You'll have an opportunity to talk to classmates you maybe haven't seen in person, also get to visit with your teachers, and there will be some activities out in the stadium. So it's a really fun day that will be planned for all of you. And hopefully you had an opportunity to fill out that survey and hope that you will be attending that day on May 3rd. On May 15th from 6 to 10 o'clock is your prom at the Fuge. We're really, really excited that you guys have the opportunity to have a prom this year. So that's going to take place on May 15th. Now, granted, it will look a little different, which I'm going to go over now. Your theme for this year is Wissahickon Senior Prom is Under the Stars. And like I said, it's going to take place at the Fuge, which is in Warminster, and it will be on Saturday the 15th from 6 to 10 p.m. So prom, so like I alluded to, a few slides ago, prom will look slightly different because of COVID protocols. And I know that most of you are probably aware of this already. There will be a staggered arrival and dismissal times for students and their dates. That's just to avoid large crowds. So we have 3 groups. One will arrive at 6 p.m., another will arrive at 6:15, and our last group will be coming in at 6:30. We want to make sure that we also have similar departure times for these 3 groups. So when you are getting to prom, please make sure that you adhere to those times so that we do not have large groups coming at once. Students, we are asking that you make sure that you are aware of any COVID symptoms that you may be exhibiting 24 to 48 hours prior to prom. Additionally, we are going to take your temperatures at the event. So just be aware that if you do have a temperature, unfortunately, you will be asked to go home. Tables will be assigned. Students will be able to select their own table. The number of students at a table will be limited, and each student will be 6 feet apart. from the other tables. Remember that you are encouraged to not carpool or travel together in large groups, and that's just to ensure that you are not, spreading any kind of germs or we're trying as best we can to keep students as far away from each other as possible. Also, a little bit of a different change. We're not going to have, your typical sit-down dinner. Instead, it's going to be appetizer style food at the prom. And that's just to make sure that we don't have masks off for extended periods of time. Obviously, students, when you're eating and drinking, you are allowed to take your mask off. Students will be given the opportunity to sign up for a small group dance, and we will make sure that that number is limited so students will be able to socially distance and stay 6 feet apart when they are dancing. Also be aware that there are other entertainment and activities for students throughout the evening. Unfortunately, we will not be permitted to have photo booths this year due to COVID protocols. On June 1st, you will be getting your yard sign delivered to your house. So we hope that you will proudly display that on your lawn so everyone knows that you are a soon-to-be Wissahickon grad. On June 8th, like Dr. Haney already talked about, this is when we will have our Victory Lap mini car parade. And please be aware that if you still would like to participate, then you're welcome to do so. We're just going to ask that you reach out to myself or Dr. Haney, and we'll make sure that you are added to that list. Senior Awards, which is a really exciting event, is going to be held in the stadium this year, which is a little different, but should be pretty exciting. That's on June 3rd at 7 p.m. There is a rain date of June 4th. Graduation, again, June 7th during AM office hours is when we will go over a lot of this information again. And it is mandatory for you to attend the June 7th graduation assembly via Teams in AM office hours on the 7th. And then that evening on the 7th will be scholarship night. Scholarship night, like awards, the awards ceremony is going to take place in the stadium, and the rain date for that is June 8th. June 8th is again going to be your first graduation practice. We are asking that you arrive to the stadium by 9:30 a.m. so that you can turn in all of your textbooks, all of your supplies that you may need to turn in, and of course your laptops. We are asking that you are in your appropriate seat at 10:30 a.m. Remember that your seat will be labeled with your name, so it should be easy for you to find. But of course, there will be plenty of faculty and staff to help you if needed. And then the Victory Lap mini car parade will follow the graduation practice. On June 9th, we will have a 10 a.m. graduation practice where you should meet on the front lawn of Wissahickon High School. And then immediately following that will be the senior picnic from 11 to 1 p.m. And then on June 10th, you have your morning free. So, if you're getting your hair done or, whatever you need to do in order to get ready for the event, graduation will take place at 6 p.m. and we're asking that you arrive on the front lawn by 5:20 p.m. so that you can be checked over just to make sure everyone is following what Dr. Haney had discussed earlier. Textbook and laptop return, again, that's going to take place at 9:30 on June 8th. It's really important that you bring your books labeled by your name and rubber banded by subject area to the first graduation rehearsal. We want to make sure that if you are returning your books that you get credit for it, so it's extremely important that you label it with your name. Teachers and staff will be outside as you arrive, and there will be a variety of tables for you to drop off your books and also your laptops. Members of the tech department will be on site to collect those as well as your chargers. Obligations. This is extremely, extremely important. All obligations must be cleared by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, June 9th. So remember, that is the day before graduation. If it is not cleared up by that time, you will not receive your diploma and you will need to make arrangements to get it at a later date. Please make sure that you are checking Infinite Campus for a listing of your current obligations and start working on clearing them now. If you have any questions, obviously you are welcome to reach out to your assistant principal. Remember that Dr. Haney works with students A to G. I, Mrs. Kelly, work with students from H to O, and Mr. Kelly works with students from P to Z. So if you have questions about obligations, please make sure to reach out to your appropriate assistant principal's office. And remember that 11th grade obligations, or 11th grade physicals rather, are obligations. So we will see you on Monday, June 7th during AM office hours for your first graduation practice. The link will be sent to you via Schoology. We're very, very excited to be able to honor all of your hard work over these last 12 years, and we hope that you have a fabulous time at your senior events. Mrs. Anderson, in guidance, is also going to ask for you to do a senior exit survey. The senior exit survey is really important for the high school and also for Mrs. Anderson. We want to make sure that we have information that can help us, just make the high school better moving forward. You are going to need to access the survey with your 6-digit Wissahickon ID number as your password. So we're asking that you please take some time to complete that survey when that becomes made available to you. And that's it. So Dr. Haney and I would again just like to congratulate you on getting this far, and we are super excited to be able to honor you at graduation and to also just celebrate you through all of the different senior events.